What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Fans Hobby Armour Eagle, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale Pretender Metalhawk. So this is the first Pretender figure we've gotten from Fans Hobby, and frankly from any Masterpiece Scale company. So it's pretty exciting to get something like this. The last time we got something like this, it was, I would think, Fans Hobby, or Fans Toys Marg, their version of Ultra Magnus that had kind of an Armour style setup, but we haven't gotten any Pretenders really in the Masterpiece Scale. This was sent to me by Dr. Diecast. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. And there are some things you need to do out of box, so I have him kind of lean forward here, but you're going to come down to the heels, click this down one, and that'll kind of give him a heel so that he can stand up straight. We're also going to pull down on the arms to expose that elbow joint. They can be a little bit tight, so just be aware of that, but pull them down so you can see both joints. On the back here, you may have to get these tabs just pushed in. They don't really click into place, they just kind of sit there. But now we're ready for action, and he's a really good looking version of Metalhawk. Got some nice paint on this, and I'll get in a little closer. As you can see, we got silver paint here for the shoulders, silver for the face, blue for the eyes, gold and red right here, gunmetal here for the shoulders, gold here for the crotch, more of that gunmetal here. On the back, we've got this metallic red on the wings. We'll see that again when we see the gun. Overall, really good looking and pretty clean on both sides. Let's go over his articulation. Head is on a ball joint, but the neck panel itself can move forward and backwards. So the neck panel combined with the head can get down to there, back to there. You get a little bit of side to side, not much, and it rotates around. You can rotate the ears back and forth here. So if you want to get a little bit of articulation there. Shoulders on a ratchet, rotate around, out to the side on a ratchet, up to there. We have a rotation here at the elbow. You have a double jointed elbow. It's tough to get it past this point, just due to the way it's designed. You really don't get much past that, but it is double jointed. Coming down to the wrists, you have a rotation here at the wrist. Individually articulated fingers. These are pretty nice fingers. I haven't seen Fans Hobby do it like this. They're on a ball joint, so they splay out at the base. And then there's two hinges on these fingers. I was not expecting that level of articulation. So that's pretty good. Thumbs on a ball joint and has a single hinge. These feel like the kind of hands where they're molded in one piece. I'm not really sure, but it does feel like that. But overall, they're really well done. You have articulation at the wings. You can go in and out. You can go up and down just due to the way they're designed. You can also flip these around. If you come to here and hold that square piece in place and flip these upside down, then you can put this back up. And now you've got the wings this direction. So you have articulation, but also a different configuration if you want it. Continuing down, you have a waist joint here. There is a little panel here. You can move that out of the way. And you can rotate all the way around. No ab crunch here on this guy. Hip skirts on the front and the sides. Allow the legs to kick up to there. A little hindered by the hip skirt. Back to here. This was unnecessary. They could have had this a hip skirt as well. But that basically gets up to there. Out to the side on a ratchet. Ratcheted in all directions, so that's nice. Rotation at the thigh at a cut joint. 90-degree bend at the knee. You have ankle tilts. Actually, it's a toe tilt here. So as you get the foot out further, it's still, the heel stays this direction, but the toe does tilt. So you get the illusion of a tilt. And then you get forward and backward on this hinge here. All right, now let's take a look at his accessories. You do get some nice stuff here. And obviously we get the Pretender armor. I'm going to look at that after we look at this weapon. So we get his gun done in this blue, red, white, silver, a little bit of metallic red here. You can pull out on this. You do have to fold out the handle. It does have the rail system that most Fans Hobby figures have. So you can open up the hand, slide this into the slot on the hand, and he holds that nice and secure due to that rail system. And that looks pretty good. We also get his sword done in silver paint. I had a little fingerprint on this one, but I was able to wipe it off, so not a big deal. Same thing, you got the little rail system, so you can open up the fingers and slide this down. You want this on the front, and that fits in nicely. Again, it holds securely because of that rail system. And I love how you can pose the fingers around it. So it really works well with the weapons. But in my opinion, the main event here is the armor. So let's take a look at that. We'll just get this out of the way. And for the armor, there are side-specific pieces, but we'll start with the non-side-specific pieces, which is, first we get this, which is the hip skirt. So we'll put that on right here. It just slides over the top. And just to show you, this is sliding over a little ridge here. And that's what's kind of holding it on. So make sure that makes its way over. You'll feel it kind of click into place. Right. Then we can take the chest piece. And again, that's just going to clip right on the top. It sits really nice and secure. To get it off, you want to pry from here and here. That'll help you get it off. But there you go for that part. Then we can take care of his legs. So the legs are side specific. Make sure you grab the right one. Should have a slot on the outside for the wing to fit in. So you can kind of open up the wing. Get this clipped onto the little tab here, which is kind of what holds it in place. Kind of clips over that. And then you can take this back piece, and that will clip back here. And underneath here, and then onto the side here. And then you can close up that wing. All right, and then go ahead and do the same thing on this side. All right, now we'll take care of the arms. Let's go ahead and take this. The pictures are conflicting, but I'm going to go with Fans Hobby's photography, which they have it like this, with this ridged piece facing down. So put this on here. Then you're going to bring this and clip that on there. So that's how it should look. Obviously same thing on the other side. Then you're going to take these shoulder pads. These will just slide it down over the top. You want this little piece on the front. That's how you know the front versus the back. Here's the back. It's clean. And same on this one. We're already looking pretty good, but of course we need the Pretender head. Here is the face. It's really well done. I love how that looks. The eyes and the face are sculpted beautifully. Paint on the eyes. A little bit of gunmetal on the horn here. Go ahead and pull the head apart. There is, the face can be popped off these tabs, so I wonder if there will be options in the future for different faces. But nice for customizers. Anyway, you can put it on here. You can clip this into place. And there you are, fully armored up. It looks awesome. What a great job they did on this figure overall. A lot of times you do armor and things just don't work or they fall off. You know, he's really solid. Nothing wants to fall off. Nothing wants to, come apart. So, and it looks good. I think it looks really good. Articulation is a little bit hindered here and there, just due to the armor. Overall, it's pretty good, but there are a couple of spots, like the legs. You still have the hip skirts that move out of the way, but now there's two hip skirts. So it gets a little clunky, but overall, for an armored up piece, it's very, very well done. You don't lose too much with the armor, which is nice. And of course, he can use his weapons in this mode as well. And for size comparison, there he is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Fits in nicely in the Masterpiece scale. Comes up to about the top of his chest, maybe a little bit taller than that. And for the size comparison, there it is next to the Fans Hobby God Delta or Delta Magnus. Their same mold as their God Jinrai. And then we've got their Arson, their version of Pyro. And you can see it fits in nicely with the other Fans Hobby figures as far as scale. Alright, now let's get him transformed into jet mode. And we do have to take off the armor. So go ahead and take these apart. And they don't combine in the jet mode, so you're not going to use these. You can just set them aside for now since we're not going to use them. And now we're ready for transformation. So we'll start on the hands here. Go ahead and fold up the fingers into a square. You want them all the way folded up. And you want the thumb folded flat. We're going to rotate the arm forward. We can lift up this panel. We're going to get the hand out here. Fold this in. Should fit nice and flat. And close this up. Rotate this back over. And then we can collapse the arm down. Should look like that. Go ahead and do the same thing on this side. All right, now that we got both arms taken care of, we can take care of this chest. Come back here. We can fold the backpack down. Just get it out of the way. You're going to open up this panel, come to the front, open up this panel. This is on a double hinge, so you're going to open up this little crotch piece, and then this is going to accordion down. You kind of have to get these armatures out of the way, because you're going to take this whole thing, swing this around, then we can come to the back and close up this panel. Actually, before we do that, rotate this down on an angle. Allow you to open up these two panels, flip out the nose cone. In order to flip the nose cone, you're going to fold down this little blue panel right here. And that'll give enough room to swing the nose past that section. Then you can bring all this together, close this up, tab together the fuselage, and then have it pointing upwards. Now we can come to the back and close this up, and that kind of lines up the top of the jet. On the front here, we're going to open up this little panel right here, cording it out on this double hinge. That'll give you enough room to swing the landing gear all the way through, rotate it straight, bring this back down, and have it sit just where it was, but with a little gap for the wheel in there. All right, once you do that, you might need a spudger for this. You're gonna fold up this double hinge so that it accordions back in, and then collapse that chest down. So that's how it should be looking. And we can close this back down. All right, now that we got the upper body section transformed, just get the wings out of the way, just fold them up like this, so they're kind of up and out of the way. We'll take care of the legs. So go ahead and fold this wing forward as far as it'll go. It's just up to there. Fold up your heel, fold up your toe. Now sit on the back of his calf. Fold up this panel. Come to the front, you're going to open up this hip skirt, open up this hip skirt, and that just gives you enough space. Come to the back, we're going to open up this panel. It only opens up to here, it kind of collides with this, but that's about all you need. It does clear. Fold a knee, slide the knee in, then you can rotate this over and tab that in like that. Come back to the bottom. This should make its way into here and tab into the side. You can close the hip skirt down. Close this, you can see it just tabs in nicely onto the side of that place. There's a little spot for it. And we can come to this wing, open this up, that'll tab it inside of the leg. And that's basically one done. I guess we could get the landing gear out too and rotate it forward. So that's one side done. Go ahead and do the other side. I'm going to do it off camera and I'll be right back. All right, now that we got the legs taken care of, we can take care of this upper body section. So fold these wings back. There's a little ridge that sticks out right here that you get rotated back. So get this rotated until you have it facing the back. It can be a little tricky, but... And same on this side. Alright, once you have both those facing backwards, you can fold down, get the arms out of the way, fold down this section. These little ridges will go into slots here on the side, and the wings will kind of collapse right into place on the sides there. So it should fit in nicely. Come back to these arms. We're going to slide out on the shoulders. So it should extend like that. We're going to slide up on these. So that those shoulders come down just a little bit, which gives it space to store those arms. Then we're going to bring these up. There's a little tab here and a slot here, so bring this down, tab that in. Same on here. Bring that down, tab it in. And straighten up the legs if you got them crooked, but it should look like this when you're done. Oh, and we lost this fin. There we go. So it should be looking like this. You're going to bring in your gun, collapse this down, fold this in, fold this on top, that tabs in, open these up, and this is going to make your tail section. This is going to slide over this section and under here, and it should go all the way in like that, so they're underneath. It does tab into the top, so get that tabbed in. Then you're going to rotate these forward. That kind of holds this. Those are the kneecaps. It holds that section on there. All right, there is Armour Eagle in jet mode. And it looks pretty good. I think they nailed it with this nice metallic red for the cockpit. Silver paint here, which was on the arms. Metallic red for the wings. Metallic red for the tail fins. Here's the back. It all really comes together nicely. You have wheels on the bottom. Roll on those wheels. Quite impressive how it came together overall. You can store the weapon here, so if you take the sword, you can plug that in right here. So you can do that, and now we've got all the weapons stored other than the armor, which doesn't go on here. You have silver back here for the engines. And of course we can bring in the Fexed Hobby display stand here. A little tricky to get it on here, but you're going to open up this. We can unpeg this chest section here. Come to the bottom. We basically have to pop out this little piece right here. I recommend a spudger. And get it wedged right in here. And you can pop this panel off. It's a little tiny panel, so just be careful don't lose it. Looks like this. And now we've got that little spot, so you can push this back in. And I'll just set the sword aside for now. But now you have that spot for stand. And you don't have to use this stand, you can use any stand really. But that'll plug in there. And now you can put him on any standard display stand. And that works pretty well. For size comparison, there it is next to the MB-32 Starscream. You can see how it compares. In jet mode, it is a smaller jet, pretty much in all of the dimensions, length, width, and height. It's a little bit taller, but length and width, it is smaller. So expect it to be kind of a more streamlined look for the alt mode there. All right, and last thing I want to show you, I decided for the end just because I didn't want to put these stickers on during the review, but you do get these stickers mostly for the armored mode. There is a guide for the stickers in the last page. You can see most of them go on the arms, and then a couple of them go on the wings, and then a few in the unarmored robot mode. So I'll get all of these on. We'll start with this. And I actually realized I had this shoulder armor backwards. I had it with this on the front all this time, so my apologies for that. But you can go ahead and you just take this off of here, and it'll only fit on one side, so you kind of want to just place it first, find your spot, and then Make sure it's centered and then press it down. And it is a good looking sticker. All right, there it is, all stickered up. And it does look good. I think this does add to it, at least for the Armour anyway. It looks really nice. Here's a little like intake here for the shoulder. 1, 2, 3, all those stickers look good. And then on the back, on the wing, we've got this kind of bluish silver sticker. All of them kind of add, they don't take away, so I do think it's worth putting them on. But you'll see the final recommendations. I don't have it on there. I just didn't want to affect anything before I put stickers on, but there you go. So final recommendations on the Fans Hobby Armour Eagle. I think this is a pretty phenomenal figure, especially for their first try at a Pretender Armour character. I really think they nailed it. Overall, the robot mode does pretty well. Articulation is somewhat limited, but overall it works. With the Armour, it also works pretty well. One of the issues that's typically plagues figures like this is the Armour doesn't stay on. This doesn't have that issue. Transformation is fun and intuitive, straightforward, and jet mode looks fine. I do think it's a little bit small, but I don't know what the scale should be, so it does feel a little small to me personally, but it works. It works. So yeah, I don't really have any complaints. I think if I had any, it would be maybe a little bit more paint in both modes, right? It's mostly plastic with a little bit of accent here and there. They did a good job on the accents, but could stand to use a little more. But overall, I think they nailed it. And if they're doing more of these, I think people who are into Super God Master Force and Pretenders, they're going to love this stuff. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Dr. Diecast for sending this for review. We'll see you next time.